Okay, so continuing our football club history series, we've just done two videos on Bromley and Solihull Moors. We're going to go north of the border. We're going to go to Scotland, and not very far north of the border. We're going up to Dumfries, and we're going to do a video on Queen of the South Football Club, nicknamed the Doonhammers. They play at Palmerston Park in Dumfries. That has a capacity of 8,690. The club itself is founded just after the First World War in 1919. And let's delve into some of their interesting records. They have some very, very interesting records and a couple of very famous fans. So the records, let's delve into it. Their record win was an 11-1 versus Stranraer in the Scottish Cup on the 16th of January 1932. That's a pretty big record win. Their record attendance was 26,552 versus Hearts on the 23rd of February 1952. So this is before All-Seater Stadium were a thing. The record appearances, 731 by Alan Ball between 1963 and 1982. Not that Alan Ball who won the World Cup with England, the Scottish Alan Ball. Record goal scorer with 252 is Jim Patterson. He scored those goals between 1949 and 1963. Their longest serving player is Ian McChesney with 615 appearances between 1960 and 1981. The record for league goals in a season was in the 1927-1928 season, with Alexander Jimmy Gray scoring 37, and their record seasons for goals in all competitions was in the 2018-2019 season when Stephen Dobbie scored 43. So some very interesting records there. Very, very interesting records. Their honours, their little trophy cabinet, the Scottish Challenge Cup, that's for League 1 and League 2 clubs in Scotland, and some English clubs have entered the Scottish Challenge Cup, including Solihull Moors a couple of seasons ago. They've won that twice. That's their version of the FA Trophy, I think it is, or the FA Vase. They've won that twice, the 2002-2003 season and the 2012-2013 season. They've been runners-up in that competition twice as well, in the 97-98 season and in 2010-2011 season. They famously made a Scottish Cup final in the 2007-2008 season. They lost to Rangers in that final. Their highest ever league finishing position was fourth in what is now the SPL, which was originally the old Scottish Division 1 in the 33-34 season. So they were a pretty good side back in the early days. Talking about famous fans. So some clubs have some very, very famous fans, and a lot of these clubs are quite big, quite well known, quite well, big famous clubs, a lot of success. Famous fans of Queen of the South. They have two. They're both musicians. You've got the DJ Calvin Harris. He's a Queen of the South fan. And Bill Drummond, who was a member of the techno, trance, acid house movement called KLF. Bill Drummond, brought up down the road, another very famous fan of Queen of the South. Now, Queen of the South technically is closer to Carlisle by being in Dumfries than Edinburgh or Glasgow. So it's actually closer to some English league clubs than some fellow Scottish league clubs, which is also quite interesting. So they don't really have any major rivalries with anyone. They have a brief UEFA Cup little foray, and they played over, I think, against FC Midtjylland in Denmark, and the Danish police were like, these fans were brilliant. Not a single arrest, not a single citation, not a single fine, no bad behaviour. Queen of the South fans are quite well known for being anti-sectarian. They're not a big fan of the sectarian element in Scottish football. Obviously, some of the bigger clubs we've looked at have had that issue. They're quite they're just it's a bit of a cult club. It's one of those little cult clubs that if you've got famous fans like Calvin Harris and Bill Drummond, you're going to have a bit of cult status. But there we go, nothing overly outstanding apart from that Scottish Cup run they had in the 2007-2008 season. Nearly made history there, winning a couple of Scottish Challenge Cups. They have some, as I say, very, very interesting records. And for the most part, they've just been a pretty average Scottish League sides. Nothing outstanding, nothing terrible. They've been plodding along for over a century now. And that is the history of Queen of the South. Little brief history. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below. Hopefully one day they can make it potentially back to the Scottish Premiership. That would be kind of cool, considering that they were fourth overall in the old Division 1 in the 33-34 season. It would be kind of cool to see them back in the top flight. They're currently in the third tier of Scottish football, Scottish League 1. So they're a little bit off in that regard, but you never know. Calvin Harris might buy the club, for example. and then we could have like a celebrity owner. That could potentially happen, we just don't know, but that's a brief history of Queen of the South. So there we go, thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below, and then our next video is on a pretty successful Italian side, so keep your eyes peeled for that later today. But for me, for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more content for you guys very, very soon.